Yes. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. I'm joined by the birthday girl. Say hi, Freya. You got your hands cool. Say hi to everyone. And say hello in the mic. Say hello. 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 We're back. Smash the like button. Hit the share button as well. This Van der Beek deal has come out of not nowhere, but this Van der Beek deal is picking up very, very quick pace. I believe this deal is all, but I think it's done. I think the personal level is done. I think details now being discussed. The guy is is training now in isolation. We are going to go through this as a team, as a group and a community right now. We also want to touch on the fact that Man United might be hijacking the Thiago deal to Liverpool. Wow, how big could this be? Literally, the move the Liverpool fans have been craving for could be hijacked as well. We're going to unpack all of that this morning. Freya, it's your birthday today, though. Are you a happy girl? Did you get nice presents? What did you get? What did you get for your birthday? Did you get a Hoover?
Yeah.
Did you get an easel?
Yeah.
Did you get Peppa Pig?
Yeah.
Did you get Up to Daisy?
Yeah.
You happy, girl? Do you love Daddy?
Yeah.
Can Daddy have kissed then?
No.
No?
No.
Can I have kisses?
No.
Why can't I have a kiss? There we go. Right, you're going to say goodbye to everyone?
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Listen, people, stay with me. Stay with me. I know we're only a minute in. Smash the like button. I'm going to put her back out there, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Peace. Come on, you. Put that there. Let's go. Say bye. Wave. Come. There we go, people. Thank you very much. She was asking, she was pointing all morning. She's like, can I come on? So I said, fine, you can do that as it's your birthday. I'm sorry if anybody feels it's unprofessional, but I'm a football fan YouTuber as opposed to professional journalist. But yes, as I say, the story out there this morning is, there's a lot of talk about this deal being very close, being on the verge, being almost done. For me, it's done. In my personal opinion, Van der Beek is going to be a Manchester United player. There's absolutely no doubt about that in my mind at all. When you look at the top level of journalists that are now talking about this and everything that surrounds it, it is where it is. Are you back? You come back. Now I've created a monster. Let me go and sort this, Pete. 1 sec. Come, baby girl. Come, daddy. Yeah, you got to go to bed now. Well, she has to go to sleep now because she's got stuff. She's got to be up. Yeah, she's now upset. Thank you very much, Rachel, for your comment about my daughter. Hope she has a great day. She will have. She's been up since early, done presents, done a lot of playing. She needs a little sleep now. Then she'll get up. I've got some more family coming around this afternoon. But there we go. Let's delve into this story because for me, this is my opinion. I think it's all but done, if not completely done. It's just fine legality details being looked over now. He'll be a Manchester United player, in my opinion. And I just look at these sort of situations and think to myself, I'm so proud of the club if we pull this deal off. It kind of comes almost out of nothing that this deal has been kind of landed in many, many ways. Let's go through some of the tweets that have come out since last night. There's a sort of, the biggest one that stood out to me has been reported that Van der Beek is now today is training in isolation. And this is the element where I always find that a story is credible. When you get multiple media outlets, multiple journalists who are giving you, who have got their own stories and their own slight versions of what's happening, as opposed to them all reiterating what one source have said. So when we had the news break yesterday evening, it came from two places. It came from the In the Know Premier League account, which we know tweeted out about it first. And then secondly, it came from the gentleman in Holland whose name, sorry, eludes me right now. And then from that point, we just started seeing it cascading. And of course, the Simon Peaches and Simon Stones of this world kind of played it down. You had Fabrizio Romano gave his massive update, which very much said, he'd love to come to the Premier League. Man United have a brilliant relationship with the player, a brilliant relationship with Ajax. They just need to submit a bid, which literally echoes what the In the Know Premier League account has said. And from that point, you have seen ESPN, Sky Sports, The Mail, The Mirror, in terms of British publications, cascade out stories, and it's escalating very, very quickly. It is, in my opinion, a deal that's going to be completed in the next 24 to 48 hours. I think this will escalate very, very fast from this point. But I want your views and I want your opinions. The Skype lines are open. If you want to phone up, if you want to come on, you can do. Please smash that like button for us. The super chat here says United are starting to make moves. Van der Beek, Sancho, and maybe Torres. We are in the business. We should be challenging. Let's go. And listen, we all just had to remain patient. And I mean that genuinely. There's a level of patience that needs to be had in these matters. It's not as simple as signing a player as you see on a game like FIFA. It truly, truly is. What I do want to say to people as well, I want to talk about the Thiago deal as well. We've got our first caller, though. This is Panka who's calling in. Panka, welcome to the show. Who do you support and what do you want to say?
Terry, first of all, happy birthday to your daughter.
Thank you.
She's really, really good. So I'm very excited. I mean, it's such a important summer for us because you look the likes of Chelsea, Man City and Arsenal also spend, and so it's really important for us to spend. It's a big week, and I'm quite excited about the Van de Beek news yesterday. But I'm even more excited about Thiago right now because if we do sign both of them, it's going to be an incredible summer along with Sancho. I don't know what you think about that, and how much they would make a difference to our team as well.
Do you know the great thing about this supposed Thiago move is Liverpool fans have been telling us that Thiago comes in and becomes one of the top 2-3 central midfielders in the Premier League. And I believe them. They are absolutely right. If Man United come in and sign him from under, slide into their slipstream and take Thiago away from Liverpool, there will, I've said for a while now, there's at some point, sometime soon, there's going to be a Liverpool meltdown on social media. This will be it. There will be outrage. They missed out on Werner. They're missing out on Kai Havertz. And imagine, by the way, I think Man United, if you can look at it as a scale of 100%, right? I think Liverpool are 90% there. United have a 10% chance.
Yeah.
If we pull it off, though, it is an absolute steal because we know how good Thiago is. Imagine adding Thiago, Van der Beek, and then you bring in Sancho. If you bring in those three, and by the way, imagine signing Van der Beek and Thiago for a collective sum of around 70 million euros. That is deals of the century. Those two players are ballers to the highest degree.
Sorry, the only factor I can see United getting Thiago is if we pay more that we can pay more wages than Liverpool, in my opinion. I think that's the only factor. If he's coming and we have a better wage offer in terms of that, because he's a Champions League winner. He will demand more wages, and I don't think so. Liverpool will pay more than us in relation to wages.
Yeah, no. I don't know if it'll be about the salary. That's how Liverpool media will spin it if the hijack was to happen. And as I say, there's a slim chance of that. The reason that United might be able to get in front is because they've spent 7 weeks, Liverpool, arguing over £4 million. And for the sake of £4 million, they may end up losing out on one of the best midfield players in the world. If Man United come in today and say to Bayern Munich, listen, we'll pay the 30 million euros cash right now, then it's done. It's over. But bro, listen, I appreciate you coming on and having your say. Thank you very much as always. Really appreciate it. Next up, my guy, Elite KJ in the house. Listen, we know about Van der Beek.
Yo, you good?
Yes, bro. Can you imagine hijacking the Thiago deal, bro?
No. No, I cannot.
But I mean, I'm putting this out. I mean, Jan has tweeted about this morning. He says, I think it makes sense that Oli would like a player like Thiago. If a player like him is available, a club like Man United on it, Bayern have got a bid for Thiago and are open and would open the doors to other clubs. He also said that there's a very credible journalist in Norway that has said that this deal that Man United are heavily interested in this deal, has the potential of happening. So this isn't sort of some desk digital journalists in the Daily Star has put this out. This has come from fairly credible tier ones that there's an outside chance. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen on a scale of probability, but how peak would it be if it did?
First of all, Wakanda forever, now and always. Number 2, happy birthday, Freya, princess of the Football Terrace. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday. And number 3, if we did this year, Liverpool Football Club would have to reevaluate the whole thing, fam. They would. Because how are you champions of England and getting all your deals hijacked by the man then that finished 33 points behind you? How?
Yeah, mate, it's true. I mean, look, I don't want to. I feel like if Man United can pull this off, I just feel like for half a day, Man United and Chelsea fans have got to come together. You know, almost DC and Marvel coming together for a good cause type thing. just to laugh at Liverpool. Because again, if Liverpool secure the deal, I'm not going to feel bitter because Liverpool have always been leading the race. But imagine leading the race and then United come in that are nowhere near you. And it isn't about anything other than the fact that you're arguing over £4 million. That's where, and you know what? Melissa Reddy and all them people can spin it. You know, all the Liverpool journalists can spin it every which way they want. Oh, we weren't prepared to spend the extra $4 million during this sort of the world's in a pandemic. We can't warrant it. Rare. They can say what they want, but real Liverpool fans, in their heart of hearts, sitting at home once they've turned their computer screens off and turned their phones off, are going to be like, my club just lost out on the best midfielder available this summer because of £4 million. Prime's in the house. Prime, you've already hijacked a player away from Liverpool. They can't lose Thiago, can they, bro?
3 players now: Pulisic, Havertz, and Werner. That's probably 3 players that Liverpool really wanted. But yeah, you'll see. I think there's a big chance you will get Thiago because if they're haggling over a couple of million or whatever, they kind of did the same thing with Werner. I could really see it happening, and you'll see the same effect as what's happening with Werner now, where Liverpool fans are saying, "Oh, it's going to take him time to settle and everything into the Prem. He's not that good, yada yada yada."
Yeah, listen, I'm not. The backtracking will happen as natural. You know, Van der Beek has been a player that every single fan base in the Premier League has praised. Sancho is a player that every single fan base in the Premier League has praised for 2 years. As soon as they're linked closely to Manchester United, they suddenly become overrated. They suddenly become, flat track bullies, whatever kind of superlative descriptive people want to go out there and pejorative descriptive more than anything. People want to go out there and use to kind of downplay the quality of him. We're just used to it as Man United fans. And it would just be, the thing is, it would be embarrassing. And, Liverpool should just bid. Like if I'm a Liverpool fan right now, I'm literally screaming at my club saying, bid the extra 4 million, get it done. Because one thing that does happen, and Arsenal's prime example was Thomas Lemar. Chelsea's prime example of this was the Lukaku deal. If you rest on your laurels and take too long to get these deals done, you make a player consider as to whether or not you're truly interested in signing them. Lukaku is all set to join Chelsea for Conte. And then Chelsea just stopped making contact and the deal protruded. And it was Man United that were making the daily, weekly contact. We really want you. We're coming in. Trust us. We're there. The bids are going in. We're negotiating. So in a cold light of day, when Lukaku was making his decision, it was, well, United has shown they really want me. And I always go back to relationships, or think about relationships, or think about it as businesses. If you've got someone that's always trying to hire you, promote you, big up your career, or you've got a potential partner that's always there and giving you attention versus somebody that's like, oh, yeah, I think you're all right, but I'm not really that interested. At some point, your heart goes, you know what? I'm going to go and side with the people that are backing me here. And that's where Liverpool could lose out on this player, in my opinion. I've got a couple of super chats to do. The first one from Humi. He says, I'm a neutral in this. This, to me, for United, looks just like a pin the tail on the donkey level just to get someone. Van der Beek is not the position United need. He is a carbon copy of Pogba. Box to box seems strange. Do you know what? I would disagree with that.
How is that a bad thing, my friend? How is having another version of Pogba a bad thing?
Isn't that what United needs? Squad depth.
Yeah, we need squad depth, fam. Like it's all like. Listen, if you're a neutral, the reason why you're saying that is because you know that that's a big move for United, so you don't want that to happen again. Man come with hopes and dreams that things don't happen. Yeah, like it's all good, baby. Like if you actually watch United, you realize that we need squad depth. You can't say we don't need Van der Beek and then say Lingard, Andres Pereira aren't good enough. Like those two, that can't exist.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I did a video back on the 11th of June, which is started to blow up in the last 24 hours. And it's titled, I'm actually going to post a link in the description below. It's when I was doing like tactical analysis breakdown videos. And we will go back to doing them. I was saying to someone the other day, I love doing those kind of videos. I just don't have the time to do them. I'm posting a link. I'm posting the link there, and I'll post it. And it shows the difference between him is Donny van der Beek this season had over nearly 200 touches in his opponent's box. And the reason why I feel that is significant is you compare that to even Bruno, who is the highest goal scorer midfield player in the world, in European football, in terms of, I won't say the world, but the best region, the best continent of football in terms of globally, the highest scoring. He only touched the ball in the box around 70 to 80 times this season. So Van der Beek, although he may occupy, and this is what people get sort of bogged down on things, you may call him a box-to-box, you may call him a versatile midfielder, but how he operates as a player is significantly different to that of Paul Pogba. Van der Beek will do something that even Bruno lacks, who's a good goal scorer. He gets into the box at almost double the rate of our best goal scorer midfield player. That creates a whole new dimension to how we attack as a football team. I always feel like Paul Pogba. I love Pogba running into the box. I want to see him make more of those darting runs. But for some players, it isn't a natural instinct to do it. And it's hard to coach natural instinct. Or maybe Pogba likes being on the edge of the box. That's what he likes to do. Van der Beek, for me, is more of a Frank Lampard-esque player. He's a better baller than Frank Lampard in terms of his passing range and ability, in my opinion. But the one thing that he has that Frank used to do is those darting runs into the box. And it's why Frank picked up so many goals. So I understand the comment in terms of positionally, they might be similar. But in terms of their attributes and how they go about things in a game, it's a new dimension. That new dimension is I would compliment in very much the same way that I would say about Thiago going to Liverpool. Thiago doesn't play a different position to two or three of Liverpool's current midfielders. He just operates in that role in a very different way, which would give Liverpool a complete and utter new dimension. The same as if he joins Man United. Imagine Thiago in that holding role, spraying balls into a combination of Pogba, Van der Beek, and Bruno. For me, it's next level. So I get the comment, and I've spent a lot of time on this comment because the gentleman's paid £10 for that super chat. But I disagree that it's a negative in any way, shape, or form. What you saying, Prime?
Terry, this is how I know Liverpool fans, are semi-stressed right now. I've seen a tweet by Watch Liverpool, Watch LFC, and it says our club is a top club levels, and the two pictures is Chelsea when they lost the FA Cup to Arsenal, and they're watching the celebrations. They're not doing anything. They're just looking at them being upset. And the other one is the Community Shield when Liverpool lost, and they're clapping. And I'm sitting there like, how you man trying to be the best loser out here, fam? Like, what kind of reach? What kind of stretch is that? You know what?
Like, I want to shout out Drifty from the Coppish. And listen,
I saw his tweet yesterday.
And he was tweeting it, and I quote tweeted it because Drifty's saying what I've been saying for a few weeks now. Liverpool fans, with their hand on their heart, being completely honest, know that since the end of, I thought it was March, since the end of February, they have been legitimately sketchy in their performance levels. Now, you can then get bogged down in results. And this is the thing, Drifty's right. It's not about the results. It's about the way in which these results are going. And LFC day trippers sort of got involved. And they said, like, well, what do you mean? Like, we've only lost sort of 2 games in the last 12 games played. But you actually start to break things down when it comes to this. And what I was basically saying is, and I then went back and started doing my research on Liverpool here. And I want to find the tweet because I can't remember exactly what it was that I said essentially. But I need to find it. Basically, so you go back all the way back to the end of Feb, scraped past Norwich 1-0. Go back and watch that game. And I read the review on the game as well. And it was like, Liverpool got really lucky in that. Scraped past Bournemouth 2-1 when Bournemouth were trash. Scraped past West Ham, Fabianski letting the ball through his legs. And even then you were like, us Liverpool fans, like, oh, got away with that. Then got slapped by Atletico. Then got beat by Watford. Then got beat by Chelsea. And then, of course, when you returned, you go back through all the performances post-lockdown. Lots of wins, yes. But there were lots of sketchy performances. Even though you beat Chelsea the way you did, look at the goals you dropped. Now, there's always been an excuse. There was like, well, we beat those teams. It was goalkeeping errors in the Atletico game. It was a freak result against Watford. It was a second-string team against Chelsea. None of the games meant anything. They were dead rubbers afterwards. Today's game was a friendly. Do you see my point here when it comes to Liverpool? And why I think Drifty's right. Every poor performance since February, and there's been lots of them from Liverpool, an excuse has been applied. That to me tells me people have underneath it all, people are kind of rattled. Like, why is there always an excuse other than just, you know what, we're not looking good at the minute? Do you get where I'm coming from? And, you know, I will quote William Shakespeare. She does protest too much, methinks. Do you get where I'm coming? It doesn't feel right to me. I've got more super chats here. I'm sorry, and I'll come back to you, boys. More calls if you guys want to phone in. Hi, Terry. Do you think Thiago is right above a centre-back, left-back, and CDM? See, I think if you sign a Thiago, I don't think Man United will then play with a traditional CDM. I think you sit Thiago in the role that Carrick Scholes occupied for a few years as almost like a quarterback role, and then you can have Bruno and Pogba either side of him. Man United play a 4-3-3 is a particular option, but it also gives us a lot of strength in depth in relation to that. You could play Thiago and Pogba in a double pivot. That would be absolute sauce, like genuine sauce. And then there might be games where you have to play with a more defensive-minded player and you bring in a Matic as well. Like it gives us great versatility. Another super chat here says, nobody, Terry, Ronaldo and Messi to Man United, done deal. Oh, right. You're saying that I would throw that out as a headline. Okay, that's a fairly good.
Well, if there were serious links with Ronaldo and Messi to United, then obviously
yeah.
That, so.
James LFC here, one of our regular Liverpool fans who's a very honest person, says, I'll be fuming if we don't get Thiago. I'm losing patience with FSG. I love Liverpool fans who are honest. Baby. Liverpool fans that are honest are my favorite because they're just speaking truth here. They're not. I don't even take it as saltiness. I just think Liverpool fans out there that are going, do you know what? We don't want to be scraping around the bottom of the barrel for players here. And imagine going 2 years as Liverpool with signing no one. Imagine going 2 years signing nobody. That's a madness.
Like how are you guys the champions in England and be happy with Timiskas or what my name is, the Greek left back? How are you guys going to be happy?
Your second choice, by the way.
I said when the season's done, I was like, as Liverpool fans, now that you're champions, you need to flex your muscles. Go out there and show that you're still the guys. Because you've had 2 seasons of not so amazing signings in terms of like there's no real statement signings. The last statement sign I think you guys made were what? Fabinho?
Yeah.
Like
it's been a long time. On Van der Beek, boys, I want to get your views on it. We've all had sort of 12 hours or so to listen. The tweets from the tier ones are in. The information from the tier ones are in. Ajax now are just, he's training alone. They've even admitted there's a transfer commitment to let him leave. There is nothing standing in the way of this deal. How soon do you personally think that United will announce this, if indeed we can get it over the line?
Thiago or Van der Beek?
Van der Beek. Thiago, I think, is going to protrude a bit longer between clubs. But how long until Van der Beek do you think is done?
I think you guys will want to get it done as soon as possible because it always feels good, especially for the fan base, to announce your first signing of the window. So maybe another week or 2, depending on what little details of the contract need to be hashed out.
How about yourself, KJ?
I made a tweet earlier saying that the United fans have been traumatized so much that the player can be holding the shirt and we still won't believe it's. I don't know, I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the next couple of days, but also I wouldn't be surprised if it was deadline day. Like, this is what I mean about United's board, man. Like, it's not as clear cut as we want it to be. But for me, it's like, as long as it gets done by the transfer window closes, I'm happy, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you on that. I think it's going to be a quick one from this point moving forward. I get the feeling it's going to be a couple of days now, just because the way the information's come out. Does that make sense? It's almost, and I would love that to happen because I think what it does for Man United fans, it enables everybody to relax. Yeah. I think it enables everybody just to say, do you know what? Relax, let's chill out. Van der Beek is in. That in itself, Man United become an instantly improved team. It gives us that protection for if a Bruno or a Pogba or a Matic is out. So it's an extra body. It's also someone that's good enough to knock one of those players out the first team. That's what I love about the Van der Beek deal. Let's go through, break down through all the tactical stuff. He has got the technical ability and ceiling to displace a Pogba or a Bruno out of the team if his form's good. Does that make sense? And I love that. Yeah. With what we've currently got, no matter how good Lingard or Pereira or McTominay perform, they're never going to be good enough to oust one of those players from a team because they don't have the winning. They're not sort of match winners. They're not of that ilk. Van der Beek is. Our team elevates, and I think it would just be a nice sort of relaxing remedy for Man United fans to get that deal over the line as an example. And then, as you say, the Thiago, I then think we're looking at either Thiago or Jack Grealish. Maybe we're looking at both. And I think if we can get Thiago, we'd sign him over Jack Grealish. I think will be interesting. And the Sancho deal, this is all making me think more and more. The Sancho deal is very close as well in terms of sort of the element of Dortmund need to go out and find the replacement. And once that's done, I think that things will then be able to progress and move on. Do me a big favor, everybody tuning in. 2 things. Smash the like button now. 2,000 people watching live, which is amazing. We posted a link a second ago. I'm going to post it again now. You can become an official member of the Football Terrace for as little as 99 pence per month. Please do that. We've got now room to add some additional emojis. We're going to get them made over the next few days going from there. But there we go. Let's go through some of these. Go on, mate.
Sorry,
Go on, mate.
In terms of like United confirming signings and like securing signings, the transfer window we all know ends in the 5th of October, I think, for the internationally. And then I think we have another domestic window for extra week beyond that. I just looked at our schedule. Say if we don't do any business after the 5th of October, we would have only played 3 Premier League games.
Yeah.
Because we've got the international coming up, and also we've got the postponed game week because of being in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought process is this: if it does take us to the final day to get like all these signings through, 3 Premier League games, I can deal with that. You know what I mean? I can deal with that squad for 3 Premier League games and then bring the industries in then. The only thing is, it's like obviously you want to bed them in as quick as possible. That's why you want them early. But again, if we're getting the signings, we can survive 3 Premier League games without new signings.
Yeah, and I think, mate, that's the important element. Our squad's good enough to get through 3, 4, 5 games. The fear of the Man United first team, because look what we did. And so I said I love how Liverpool fans are playing this down, that Man United in the second half of the season were excellent. And I know people turn around and say, you don't get a trophy for that. Bruv, I'm not asking for a trophy. What I'm saying is recognize that 18 games plus the additional 6 or 7 in cup competitions, for me, is enough period of time to witness the changing in a body of work of a manager and team. And I'll give you an example. Look how good in the last sort of the Community Shield yesterday, but maybe the last sort of 10 games of the season Arsenal were. Already you've got people saying you can see something being built. If you're going to apply that logic to that team, it would be exceedingly naive and stupid to not apply the same logic to a team that had an amazing run of 24 games. Now, we didn't win a trophy at the end of it, but we did secure we did secure 3rd place in the league, which also saw us complete a 14-point swing to gain that back. So I'm happy to go through 3 or 4 matches with this squad because it's good enough to win those games. It's good enough to keep ourselves right up near the top of the league. And then you add those players in. But as I say, I think we'll see a couple of players in now with the way things are sounding before the beginning of the season, which would be great. Shout out here to Boss Robbo, who's become a member of the Football Terrace. Thank you very, very much for doing so. It means a great deal to us here. It really, really does. Comment here says, KJ Fabrizio Romano said, if the transfer happens less than 30 days this time, unlike the Sancho saga, plus Ajax want it done before their first game on the 13th of September. And that's also part of it. Like, the one great thing is with this, we have an amazing relationship with Ajax. 2 clubs of great tradition that have always got on. There's been business done before. Secondly, Van der Sar's not going to mess us about. Van der Sar loves Manchester United Football Club. So he isn't going to mess us about. Does that make sense? And I think that that's why we can get this done particularly quickly. I've just tweeted something out as well that said Donny van der Beek is currently doing individual training. He's on the verge of joining Man United, although other top European clubs have still not been ruled out. And that's another reason why I think United are going to push forward hard here to try and get this done with Donny, because what you don't want is Barcelona or Real Madrid to be woken up again and say, actually, we're going to come back in for this guy. I think we need to do our best to push through and get this done and get this over the line.
Yeah, as I said, like I just don't. The trust is not there with the board from majority of the Man United fan base, and it's understandable, especially when it comes to the speed of dealings. If we look at just even just last summer and January, the speed of the dealings were kind of. Terry, you were arguing that it weren't slow. It's just a normal process. But as fans, we want to see the link. We want to see the transfer fee agreed, the personal terms agreed, and then boom, we've signed him. So because I haven't seen that from United in a while, part of me is just like, it's just gonna take time. So that's why I'm just holding off from saying it's gonna happen in a few days. Yeah, I'm just being relaxed, chilled or cushy, bro.
And that's it, brother. And on Tuesday, as I said, I had a bit of a wobbly day where I was like, oh, what if we don't sign no one? And that's because I did something wrong. I spent all day reading and watching negative content, and I did it because I was trying to just see what other individuals were saying. But then once I sort of calmed down and I was like, actually, this is wrong. And now I'm only halfway through the research into how long it generally takes to sign players. And the interesting thing is, if you were to ask who gets business done quicker, Man United or Chelsea, since Woodward's been in, everyone will say Chelsea. But factually, that isn't true. Like, we actually averaged, it's mad. Like, I'm talking about 7 years of data here. We have this, it takes us just as long to sign our marquee signing on an average and as a medium as Chelsea. But yet it's the perception, because every Man United transfer is spoken about in the media with so much more there's so much more attention to it. Everyone else knows about it. You often, and you can do this. Ask random people that's like football about Chelsea, Tottenham, City deals that are going on and see how much they know about it in comparison to Man United. Everyone I speak to says, oh, I've heard about this United deal. Oh, I've heard about this, because it's pushed out there more, because it sells more, because we have more fans. And that's something I don't even think our biggest rivals would argue with. But now, I'm a bit like you, mate. If it does take an extra week, I am relaxed, because also I'm not, how do I put this? Van der Beek has to make the right decision for himself. He might prefer Barcelona to Man United, and I'm not going to be upset about that. The only time I don't want him at the club in that regard is if he's only picking us because the salary would be more. I want him to come to us because I'd love to be at Man United. But would I be upset if he goes, I'm going to leave it a week to see whether Barca come in, because I'd love to play for Koeman, who, but of course, knows through his Dutch times. I'd love to play there in that team, because I always feel like Ajax to Barcelona is almost like a natural progression because of the Johan Cruyff links and styles of football as an example. But listen, it could take a bit longer. But like you, mate, I'm absolutely relaxed. We had a comment here. I'll put this out to you, boys. Terry, do you think people should put more respect on Ollie's name in relation to these signings? What would you say to that, Prime, as a rival here? If he pulls off, a lot of people were saying a few weeks ago, no pulling power, can't bring anybody in. If he does land Thiago and land Van der Beek, do you think people need to put more respect on the name that is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Yes, because people like to talk a lot about, pulling power and everything. Ole, he's been here, a season and a half, I guess. Ole seasons Ole, since he's been here, has signed Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's one of the youngest, I guess, most talented fullbacks in England. Harry Maguire, who was touted as a highly rated centre-back. Man City wanted to sign him, so you can't say that he's not that good. He signed Bruno in January, who Spurs were linked to him. And now it looks like, you're still, the Sancho deal may have boiled off maybe a little, but you're still heavily linked with him. And it looks like things are maybe more or less done, or whatever it's looking like. You're now linked to Van der Beek and Thiago. If you manage to take Thiago away from Liverpool, people can't talk about that pulling power.
Ole just deserves more respect just for the man that we're linked to, bro. Like, I was used to seeing Maureen being linked with Perisic, trading Martial and Willian, like Sergio Milinkovic-Savic. Like, where the links with him? I think PSG is the only man looking at him now. This is what I mean. Ole deserves respect because we're now looking at the players that can actually move us forward for the future, and not just 2-3 years and then boom, they're done because Jose's left the whole club in a mess he did, and now they don't want to be here no more. Like,
mate, I absolutely agree, and I think I had my wobble, and the reason I think I had my wobble midweek early last week is because although I've seen lots of changes under Ole in the way the club is being run, we know for a fact that Woodward and judges don't have any kind of involvement in the football making decisions in relation to players. The financial element, yes. And by the way, that's the same at all clubs. Like, at Chelsea, that lady whose name I never remember. Is it
Marina.
Marina? Like she
Granovsky,
doesn't sign off on how much money's being spent. Roman does. Like he says this is what you can, you can't do. She does the negotiating, and then a football brain picks the player. It works in that order. The manager and the transfer committee of scouts, etc., decide on who they want in 1, 2, 3. We want a striker, first choice, second choice, third choice if there is one. They then go to her. She will then go out and of course do the sort of, well, I'll do the negotiations, but she then needs to go to her boss and go, how much can we spend as an example, blah, blah, blah. That, of course, gets signed off by accountants to say that give them the monetary sums of what they can do. And that's how these things work. But people like to kind of act like Man United weren't like that for a long time. That's how United are now operating as an example. We've seen much better signings since Ollie's been in, much more success rate in those areas. But the proof was always going to be what we did this summer. Because there's videos I've seen in the last few days exposing the Glazers. The Glazers have gone back to normal. They're not going to back this manager. If we bring in 3 good signings this summer and they do equally as well as the Aaron Wan-Pissakas, the Maguires, the Brunos, you suddenly move into a realm where you're thinking, I don't actually know if I can keep criticizing. I can criticize the owners taking money out the club. But in terms of structurally and culturally how we're run, there's a massive improvement there. We've added David to the stream. David, what are you saying, bro?
Is he muted?
Every time I add David to these calls, there he is. Yeah. Hello, mate.
No, he just lagged out a bit.
There we go, mate. Yeah, what you saying, bro? About Van der Beek first of all, and then I want to hear your thoughts on Liverpool maybe losing out on Thiago.
From what I've seen of him, whenever I've watched in the Champions League, he's a good player. He's just a really good player, and he helps out United squad 100%.
Just a really good player, Dave.
No, he's no. I mean, I can't call him great because I haven't watched him as much as I've seen other people. But every time he's played in the Champions League, he's been fantastic.
Well, I see him. This isn't a knock at 2 Chelsea fans that are on. I watched him play against you boys this time. Remember he was brilliant in that run that got him to the semi-final a couple of years ago. Van der Beek was brilliant. And by the way, just let everyone know, I got about 5 replies yesterday from Dutch followers who said it is Van der Beek. A lot of people keep saying Beek. It's pronounced Bake like Bake Off.
You're talking about Van der Beek. Oh, I thought you were talking about Thiago, Dave. No.
No. I'm talking about Van der Beek.
Yeah. On that, I think he's going to be a brilliant signing. David, what do you make of the Thiago situation? Do you think Liverpool fans, if this happened, do you think they're going to be on the airways here ranting and raving about this?
No, because they still believe their squad right now is good enough to win the league.
Liverpool fans have said they have a better squad right now than Man City did when they got 100 points.
For me personally, I think Thiago is 100% needed for that team because quite clearly from their recent form, they need something to freshen it up because it is like, I know yesterday is a friendly, so, you may be a bit reactionary, but even before then, even in their wins, I keep saying it, in that Chelsea game, right, was one of the worst defensive performances I've ever seen. And we only lost by 2 goals. Their form has been dipping ever since. They're not this impenetrable force that they used to be. So for me, I think Thiago is really key. And what I would find incredibly funny is that if you went to United, all the people, have you not seen how the media suddenly turned their heads? So every time he played for Munich, they're like, oh, look at this guy, he's fantastic, blah, blah, blah. It's you're only all saying this because Liverpool are interested, and now you have something to look into. If he then goes to United, suddenly all those people are like, oh, he's really, really good. Now I have to be
well, yesterday was a great, David, you're right.
Really
yesterday, look, there was a tweet from James Pearce, a journalist I respect who've had on the show. He basically tweeted out saying, we struggled without Trent today because there was no creativity coming from the wings. This is why it's imperative that we sign Thiago, because Thiago will add that element to the central areas. Liverpool fans have said this. That's why there is panic today. Oh my God, if Man United come in and take him away from us, it's them. Now what? Because then they're put in a difficult position, Liverpool. They keep making these statements that it's immoral to spend too large a sum of money in this time. If they miss out on their 2 main targets this summer, 3 if you throw in Jamal Lewis, it's then, do we sign nobody? Or do we now actually go out there and break the bank? Because you think about they need someone who's creative through the middle. This isn't just about buying a midfielder. Oh, we'll go and get Kante or Thomas Partey. That's not what you need. That isn't going to improve. Thomas Partey doesn't improve Liverpool in terms of where they need to improve. And I think that's why there'll be a bit of panic setting. I'm just trying to find Drifty's tweet from yesterday because I wanted to share it. But this is what Drifty said. Then I've got a couple of super chats to go through. He says, mission has been completed. Mojo is gone. I'm not talking about because of this game. I've said it since lockdown. Without 2 or 3 more fresh faces in the side, will be well below our standard this coming season. Watch. And I think Drifty's been very honest there. And Drifty's one of those guys, he's gassed about his team, but he'll never sit there and be deluded in his kind of opinions. And I think he's right. I think Drifty's being honest about what he's seeing as opposed to towing the party line. A couple of super chats here from Who Me, who says, unless talking tier 1 level manager there is no pulling power. Football is a business. Players, it's a job. You will go where the wages are. Pulling power is a thing branded about like it actually means something. I think there's an element of truth in what he said there. There's, again, pulling power almost feels to be like one of these sort of media created, fan created terms.
It's like a buzzword.
Yeah. And the thing is, people forget, like, do young football fans forget who Ollie is? You speak to any...
Trust me, most people my age think the only thing he ever did was score that 1 goal against Bayern.
Yeah, exactly. He's become, like some actors get caught, like Liam Neeson, right? Liam Neeson is now typecast as being this kind of taken, like this, he's done like about 10 films like that in the last sort of 10 years where he's like sort of an assassin type person. People forget what an amazing actor he is, and some of the, like, Schindler's List. Like, people don't realize how great a film that is because not a lot of the younger generation watch it. He's typecast. I think that Ollie's become a typecast football player. Oh, he did that one thing. It's like, no, bruv. Like, this guy was a legendary football player. Who-Me has got another super chat here. He says, remember when Richarlison signed for Everton, said it was his dream? Yes, I can imagine a young Richarlison in the favelas dreaming one day of signing for a club with Hibbert limping up and down, lumping the ball up to Anichebe's head. And that's such a great super chat. It's very true.
That is true, but what does that matter? If a player signs for my club, I want them to show that they're going to put...
No, but he's trying to... What he's saying is true. It's disproving this whole pulling power thing, in terms of saying that players will just go to wherever they can get the money or wherever they can go and say what they need to say. You know what I mean?
No, I know that. I'm backing that up and saying that it doesn't matter. Obviously, they're going to say
but I think what he's saying more than anything else, and I genuinely mean this when I say it, how it feels to me is, I want to phrase this in the right way. Fans are too fickle and they buy too much into this. When I hear a football player, like when Van Persie even said the little boy in me was calling Man United, I loved hearing it, but I'm not, and I love bantering gooners with it. Do you think I'm stupid enough to think that he's always thought about playing for Man United? No, I think that, I don't know if he ever had done, but I think when he did start to think about it, it's like, I want to win a league title in England and I'm not going to do it here. Where can I go? United are interested. City are interested. So the little boy in him has said, go follow your dreams of winning a league. That was his league. That's his dream, was to win a Premier League title, as opposed to doing it with Man United. And I think what I would say to you, like it's the same with Timo Werner. Timo Werner is going to come out with how much he's looking forward to Chelsea, but we know he really wanted Liverpool. But as long as he comes to your club and plays with heart on his sleeve, it doesn't matter. What annoys me is when Chelsea fans try to act like he weren't interested in Liverpool. It's like, well, he was, bruv. He literally was twerking. He didn't get it.
Anyway, saying that is even funnier because that means we can just be like, yeah, he wanted to come to you, so why is he in a blue shirt?
Because your club didn't put your money where your mouth is. That's more of an embarrassment than a player.
Like Igal was saying the same yesterday about Fabregas and stuff, that he said in 2011 or whatever that he never wants to play for another club or another London club, but yeah, he still came to Chelsea and he couldn't answer that point.
But it's not listen, how you answer the point is this: most people, when they stand in front of the altar or they're in the synagogue or they're in the mosque and they're doing their vows, their various vows depending on upon their culture and religion, and saying till death do us part with their other half, 99% of people mean that when they say it. But look at the divorce rates around the world. You can mean something today, and then circumstances in life can change over a 2, 3, 4, 5 year period, and your mind changes. Yes, it's fun to throw the banter back at someone, but that's how you answer it. Human beings
basically, Werner was twerking for Liverpool, yeah, but they're in the club, yeah, and Liverpool ain't coughing at the money, but guess who was making it rain? Big Daddy Roman, fam, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? I remember I did say it once, right? I remember being quite young. I must have been about 21. There was a girl I really liked, but I was it was annoying because I didn't know. I don't need to be careful. This is when I was young. This isn't now. This was then. Okay. But I kind of I've got this little, I don't believe when you're talking between 16 21, 22, 23. I don't really think serious relationships in that age gap are sensible. I think you should live your life. So I was a little bit like, I don't really want to do that. I've heard she likes me. I really like her. It means it'd have to be serious. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't really make a move. About a month or two later, she started seeing this other dude, right? Because I think she just thought, well, he ain't interested. I'll sort of move on. And I was proper gutted. I was like, why didn't I do something? And I think that's how Liverpool fans feel, as the KJ's example, in the sense of we want him, don't know. Oh, should we? I don't know. Oh, what if people say this? What if we don't? What if this happens? What if the season ends again and we lose money? Oh, shit. It's gone someone else. You've missed out anyway. Procrastination. It's called procrastination. And it can sometimes leave a bit of taste in the mouth. Jin here, the super chat, says, if we don't get Thiago, who else can we bring in before for that same position? That's a United fan saying that. I don't know. I think Thiago, for me, was one of those signings that if you can get him, great. If you can't, listen, I still think United could be improved by Thomas Partey coming in. I think that's still a deal I would like to see happen. I don't necessarily think we need Thiago in the same way that Liverpool need him. We don't need additional creativity from the middle, especially if Van der Beek comes in. What we might use him for is orchestrating that midfield. Liverpool are desperate for a creator and an orchestrator because they don't have that. Their midfield is workhorse based. Do you know what I mean? At the moment,
I don't necessarily think Thiago is something that I think Liverpool need him. Yeah, but if they don't get him, I don't think it's actually the end of the world. I think if they your Liverpool fans are gonna be upset. I think if you move Firmino out of striker, I'm actually playing him in number 10 and buy an actual striker who actually scores goals and changes your team that way. That whole thing is now changed. You play Keita more. You telling me Keita and Firmino can't create chances? They can. All they need now is a bag.
Is Firmino creative enough?
No.
So
Firmino is, but they need more through the middle. We all know this. It's those, because the midfielders they've got are so basic. The ball comes in and then it just gets spread out to the wide areas. They're not the kind of football players who are making these cutting, breaking edge, line breaking forward passes. They're just not. They just don't have the ability to pull that off. You know, they've basically got 3 very good Scott McTominays. You know,
it's true though. It's not even lies.
Like Scott McTominay is good at. Like, if Man United had a team where all the creativity was in the wings and in their front 3, you could get away with 3 McTominays in your middle, just breaking up play, holding onto the ball, shielding and covering defensive positions. If you don't need it, the reason why Scott McTominay sometimes gets shown up in the Man United team is because he's trying to thread balls through, like when Pogba's out, like Pogba does, and he can't do it because he isn't technically gifted enough. But then that's not what he is there for, if that makes sense. It's Anfield Watch who just put this out. It might have been what you actually 4 minutes ago put this out. It says Thiago is understood to be keen on the move to Anfield. However, this is from James Pearce. However, Liverpool are yet to open talks with Bayern officially, who will demand around 30 million for the player who will be a free agent next summer. That is still the party line that's being told, that Liverpool are not prepared to pay 30 million in their eyes for a player that's going to be free next year. The problem is with that logic. If he signs for another club, he isn't available for free next year. He ain't there next year. And that's where it becomes very difficult. And that's where Man United, I think, have lost the ability to try and drive the price down in relation to Jadon Sancho, is the fact that they've extended the guy's next year isn't his final year. If that was the case, this Sancho deal wouldn't have protruded. Liverpool now need to cough up or shut up. And the longer they wait, the more Thiago is going to think, do you really want me? It's true. And he will. And think about how you would feel in your lives, in your careers, in your professions, in whatever you're doing. If somebody says, I want you, but they never offer you the contract for the job, and another person's been, please, I know that you prefer to go and work for this company, but I'm knocking on the door now, and I've got the contract here. We'll equal their salary. We'll better their pension. We're desperate for you. We need you. At some point, your mind's going to be changed. At some point, you're going to say, all right, cool. I'm going to go with you. You're backing me. You're backing me, they're not. You know, we always see this, don't we, right? How many gangster films you watch, from Top Boy through to The Godfather, when one of the fairly high-ranking individuals isn't getting the respect he deserves in the family that he's in the group that he's in, the gang he's in. And then a rival gang says, look, snake for us and we'll give you a senior position. They go, no at the beginning, no in the beginning, no in the middle. And then in the end, they go, all right, cool, because you're the only one showing me love. Show your people love. And they won't leave you, and they won't ever leave you behind. Trust me, he's going to snake on Liverpool because Liverpool are procrastinating. And if it happens, the sweet, I've got some here, glass. The Scouse tears Oh, the Scouts tears will be amazing.
Hasn't been Premier League champions, but yet not secure your targets.
This is what I'm saying.
All I'm saying, if they don't make any signings, I'm even more confident Chelsea finish above them.
They have made a signing. They signed their first choice left back. What are you on about?
Oh yeah, the kid they've been scouting since he was 8 years old. Sorry, I meant
That they can't even. Rams knows everything about
any meaningful signings. And after watching Chelsea yesterday, see that Hudson-Odoi assist?
Oh, it's the same. It's the same guy that they used.
Hang on. I've got to speak about that Hudson-Odoi assist. I saw Twitter trending yesterday saying, "What an assist by Hudson-Odoi," and I thought he did something amazing. I didn't realize he messed the header up.
Terry, if Martial did that though,
I'd say he messed the header up, bro.
Still say he messed it up.
Brian, what are you chatting about? Like that's one of those things you can't. Do you remember when Liverpool's Twitter account was going? You remember when the Dejan Lovren did like some sort of basic sort of drag back, like one of the most basic drag backs ever, and the Liverpool account was like, "Oh my days, have you seen this?" That's how that felt yesterday. Liverpool fan here, James, with a super chat says this Thiago deal has Werner written all over it. Aaron here says Naby Keita can be that for Liverpool, needs to stay fit. Look at him at Leipzig. But Aaron, he can be. But the fact you're looking for a replacement for him tells me that your manager doesn't think so. By the way, if Matic, Fred, and McTominay were good enough to see us through, we wouldn't be looking at Van der Beek. Because we've already got 5 midfielders. If we're looking for replacements, that means that one of those 3 are not seen as good enough. As a bare minimum, one of those 3. The reason we're looking at Grealish and Sancho is because Mata, because Pereira and Lingard are not good enough. Like I'm not going to change my energy because it's my club. The reason why Chelsea have signed 172,000 players this summer is because their current squad isn't seen as good enough by Frank Lampard. It's just a fact. You add 1 or 2 players to fresh the squad up. Facts. You don't bring in 4, 5, 6, 7 new people to a team that you inherit. If your squad's good enough, you wouldn't need to do that.
And as of right now, we're even adding to look more because we need that goalkeeper.
True.
Talking about Chelsea right now, just for a second. Havertz, yeah, I know. I'm confident you guys are gonna get him. What about you guys? It's not as quick as you thought it'd be, because apparently it was going to happen today, isn't it? You still got time, but
an announcement to be coming in the next 4 days.
I love how you're guessing that, bro. It's great. I love
that. It's complete guess.
No, mate, but you're right to do it. The thing is, what Leverkusen have done is the same thing. The German clubs are winning this transfer window. They are literally saying, "Pay us X and we'll do the deal." X comes in and they go, "Cool." Everyone thinks it's moving along, and then they go, "Ah!" Do you remember when you used to watch Chris Tarrant when he used to do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You go, "Right, I've got 32 grand." He'd hold the check out and go, "But we don't want to give you that," and he'd drag it away. It was a little bit of a fun thing he did. I think that's what they're doing to all us English teams. They're literally saying they're getting teams to think it's done, and then they're pulling the rug from under the feet, saying, "Actually, we want to change this clause. We want an extra 5 million in bonus." And the clubs are just, "Oh, do you get where I'm coming from?" I feel like they're doing that. And wouldn't it be amazing if Sancho got announced before the Havertz deal? Because that just could happen, because the notion that Man United take exceedingly longer to get deals done than their rivals. I'm doing the research on it. I'll give you an example. Over the last 7 years, Liverpool take on average 12 days to sign their first player in a window. That's from, generally speaking, from the 1st of June onwards to the end of the window. We use that because officially 1st of June is when clubs break up and the seasons officially end, and everything goes back to 0. So I use that as a date. Otherwise, it's hard because some people's seasons finish before others because of cut competitions, etc. Man United actually average 27 days, but the average of Man United is higher simply because in the first summer, it took us 95 days. If you take away that first summer that was bad, we averaged 15 days.
What summer was that?
The summer of 2013, when we waited all summer and signed Fellaini at the end.
Oh yeah.
So that was our first signing. So my point is, that's why you have to look at things as an average and as a median, because the average can be skewed by one freak anomaly in relation to signings, and United have that. So as a medium, we take on average 4 days longer than Liverpool to sign our first signing. When you look at marquee signings, we average we take 12 days longer. So I'm not saying Liverpool are not faster than us. They are. However, it's not You're not talking 30, 40, 50 days faster. You're talking a couple of weeks. But it's how things are perceived. It's only United that take a long time to get things done, as an example. And by the way, if Liverpool go this whole summer without another marquee signing, or they wait till the end, Liverpool's averages change dramatically, over the space of time. So I just say to people, and I haven't done the full research, I've still got to do more research into City, Tottenham and Arsenal, but I almost know it's going to come out and it's all going to be much of a muchness. But it's, again, how you perceive things to be as to what they really are. And to most people, perception is reality. That is until, of course, you challenge that perception and reality. And then your life generally becomes a lot more enlightened. Ruby here says, Terry, whilst Liverpool are window shopping for Thiago, Man United need to be ruthless by smash and grab that window. Well, we ain't got to be looting. No, we're going to go in there and just pay what the shopkeeper wants, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Shopkeeper says it's £30 for this T-shirt. Liverpool, I'll give you £24. No. United come in, last one left. Look, we'll pay £30. Actually, do you know what?
Wait.
It's 30. It's £29.99. Listen, there's £30. Keep the change. Do you know what I'm saying? Just get it done. Get it done.
Nah, FSG are moving like Woodward right now, fam. Well, go on.
Also, if you guys do get Van der Beek, Thiago, Sancho, and another one like say Grealish or whoever, you guys got to put respect on Woodward's name.
Listen,
really.
I've Woodward's business, if you actually look at it as well, so when I've looked at the history of it, Man United have progressively got better in the market in relation to timings of signings. Our biggest problem is why it's going to take Woodward a long time to recover is the fact that for the first 6 years of that, and this is where things get confusing. The average time it takes to sign a player is pretty much the same as everybody else. That actually shouldn't be the focus of United fans. Up until Ollie, the problem is every year, every 2 years, we change directions as managers and change philosophies. We had squads full of the wrong type of players over and over and over and over again. Right?
He's back.
I know Zane's back. I'm going to read that out in a second. So what you have with my issue with Woodward is that he made poor decisions. He was overriding. One sec, guys. He was overriding decisions from football minds on players. The time it takes him to sign somebody has never really been my concern. It's been how we did our business. We had a really good summer under Ollie last year. My view has always been if we can prove 2-3 years running that we're making the best decisions and the culture around how we sign players has changed. We sign them for the right reasons. We sign what the manager wants. We let football brains make football decisions. We let financial minds make the financial decisions. We would move back in the right direction. But what fans are doing is collating how bad the signings have been with how long they take to happen. When for me, those two things are literally mutually exclusive for one another, in my opinion. Zane here for Super Chat. He says, Terry, I hope you buy these players as we need something more than a training match when we play you at the Emirates.
That's actually funny.
Zane, that's probably the best one you've ever done. Zane, by the way, you do need to DM me and send me a picture. I'm going to put you up. I'm actually going to move my Daniel LaRusso, signed Daniel LaRusso picture, or Ralph Macchio picture, one of my heroes in film. I will put your picture there if you send it in, bro. Biggest contributor to the channel. Thank you very much, my guy. In fact, though, who me has been a very big contributor recently as well. He's in with another super chat here. He says, look at Germany, Holland, France. Majority are very willing to give you for chance. These countries have got the cream. We are years behind. We have to pay for it. Coaching. Ajax train kids at 3 to 4 years of age.
But also, those countries have better youth products and a youth setup than we do.
Well, not even that. All those countries have one team leading the way, so like all the teams know we can afford to do that because realistically, it's not going to dramatically affect our position. In England, you just can't do it.
Well, I think what happens here as well is that you've got 4, 5, 6 teams that theoretically can win the league. There's more demand than winning. Also, Chelsea's academy is brilliant. But Chelsea use their academy. They're just one stage behind where the Ajaxes and the Lyons of this world are. Those clubs' academies are designed to help keep the money coming in because the sale of their academy players, their quality they produce, quite literally keeps their heads floating above water. Chelsea have to use their academy system to earn enough money because they're not as big as the other gigantic clubs globally to earn enough money to be able to comply with financial fair play rules. That's why Chelsea primarily have loaned all their players out. All those £500,000 to £5 million a year loan fees bring in hundreds of millions of pounds. But that's your business model. So I get the point there. Zane back again says our charity shield is bigger than your Captain America shield from your Avengers team. You call him.
Oh gosh.
Didn't Aubameyang break the Community Shield yesterday?
No,
Yeah,
no,
he did.
that was FA Cup. He dropped the FA Cup.
Okay, we've added Monstar to the
Oh,
stream.
no,
Monstar, Van der Beek to Man United, and maybe the hijacking of Thiago. What you saying about that, bro?
Van der Beek, I already said yesterday that would be a great deal. Liverpool, you know, I don't know how you can't pay 30 million for a world or 27 million pounds for a world class, probably the best midfielder in the world. How do you mess that deal up? If they're not careful, you know, a Chelsea or Man United could easily come and hijack that deal. It only takes 27 million pounds. Do you know what I mean?
Monster, no prayer for your rivals.
Oh, I've prayed enough for him, man.
Have you
know
man
what I mean?
seen Fabrizio's tweet here? It says here a new message to Liverpool by the CEO of Bayern Munich. I hadn't seen this. He says 30 million euro, not even 30 million pounds bid expected soon. If they don't pay, Thiago is on the market for other clubs. That would be even more embarrassing because that reads like Bayern have said, we'll hold on to the player for you. He's yours. We just need the money by a particular date. You man ain't paying it. He's going back on the market to go elsewhere. Imagine you've got first refusal. It's like the garage saying, listen, Tel, I know you want the new car. I am looking at a new car, by the way. We're going to hold it for a few weeks for you. Don't need a deposit. We know you're good for the money. And then losing out on it because you don't bother turning up. It's credibility goes and everything. It's like, what's wrong with you? Imagine me going back to that garage and saying, oh, listen, I'll do it now. They're never going to give me that chance again because I'm going to damage them. I'm going to cost them sales. I'm going to damage their income. Liverpool are moving here like, honestly, they're trying to shop. They're trying to shop at Harrods with Primark money. It's embarrassing.
They're moving like Ram, fam.
No, two backers, bruv. Listen, if Liverpool don't, I want to put this question out there now because I've made Liverpool have to be favourites with the bookies, in my opinion, to win the league.
Yeah.
I've always assumed they're going to sign someone. And I've said all along that my opinions will change based on markets. If Liverpool don't sign a proper player, where are they finishing next season, Monster?
They're finishing third.
Wow. Can you imagine that kind of drop?
You don't. The thing
Yes,
is,
because I've been saying it for time.
with Liverpool, the thing is, what disappoints me is that you've got practically this generation's Zabi on sale. He's at 29 years old for 27 million pounds. It really does my head in that no one is going to like grab that opportunity to buy this player. This player he's generational. He was the difference in the final between Bayern Munich and PSG. How do you not go and buy him?
It's absolutely astonishing. Speaking of astonishing, everyone who's tuning in right now, 2,358 of you, please smash the like button for us. It's so important to the channel that you get that done. It really, really is. Let's get this past 1,000 likes, please, and subscribe. We're pushing now on 154,000 subscribers, which has been amazing. So thank you.
Come on.
You also got to remember that Thiago actually was willing to come United many years ago. I know it's been a while since that happened, but imagine that, like, United missed out on all these players, and then we end up getting one of them that we apparently missed out on when he's
Was
in his prime.
during Van Gaal?
No, it was David Moyes, and this is what I mean by the club just being a shambles in the market. We allowed David Moyes to say no to Thiago because he isn't good enough. That just like those kind of decisions, that's what.
He said no.
Wow. Yo, Leeds are making big moves. Sorry.
Yeah, the Leeds doing madness. Who did he say?
No, they're interested in Rodrigo de Paul.
The thing is,
And
and this is why I didn't. I think in my heart of hearts, I didn't truly believe that Liverpool, that Man United were not going to sign anybody, because if these clubs have all got money, we have to have money. It just doesn't feel right, and that's the same with Liverpool. Like this notion that they're broke, they ain't spent money for 2 years now. What have they been doing with all this income? Remember this this is where Liverpool fans are going to be raging.
New Nike
deal was just it. I saw Liverpool fans celebrating this Nike deal and their court case against New Balance like they'd signed Messi. It was like what? Because and rightfully so. Hang on one second. Let me finish. And rightfully so, they were celebrating it because this is the biggest sponsorship deal from a manufacturer at a club in the history of football. They get a 20% yield on Liverpool branded Nike merchandise. Other clubs have got a few deals like this, but it's 4 or 5%. This is beyond anything anyone else has got. And they're not willing to spend any of the money. That must, do you know what? They're a working class, almost socialist level football club, Liverpool, the area and everything. Imagine them making all this
coming,
extra
fam.
money and not spending it on the club. Liverpool fans are going to, it might take time to come out, but Liverpool fans will eventually be outraged by this. It is disgraceful. Sorry, Prime, you were saying something, bro.
Yeah, no, Terry, you're wrong there. It's not Messi, it's Mbappe. Because apparently Mbappe 2021.
Okay, but what I meant is they were celebrating it like they signed a huge player, and I meant rightfully so. That's also another player they said they were going to sign. And we've had financial experts explain how affordable even a deal like that is for a club like Liverpool. But yet they want to toe this line of, oh, we don't have the money, we're not willing to spend it, rare. It just makes me, I'm weird. I'm genuinely weirded out by it. That Liverpool fans are going to take.
Do you think like the owners have just gone, oh, we've done everything we need to do, so that's it for us?
No, I just think that man are being. So you remember Everybody Hates Chris and his dad Julius. I think them man, they are just him, bro. You know what I mean? They just, if they can save and use coupons, they're using the coupons, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Some new breaking news: Donny van der Beek is absent from Ajax's whole squad today for the game against Union Berlin. I don't know how breaking it is. I've just seen a tweet about it from United Updates.
That was this morning.
Okay, cool. I didn't even know that. And that's what I'm saying about this whole thing, right? You know, like with the Sancho thing. Oh, mate. So someone was saying something.
I think there's background noise.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, these are just all the little things like we were saying last time. You add everything up around this deal, and this deal's happening, bro. Van der Beek's going to be a Man United player.
Yeah, Van der Beek is joining Man United. I think Sancho's joining as well. I think that's a given. I think they're both joining.
If Man United were to sign, if Man United were to sign Thiago, Van der Beek, and Sancho, no one can top that window.
Yeah, that's a massive window. Hold on a sec. Wait.
Let's be honest now. Dave.
Wait.
Quantity over quality, innit? Like,
what? Excuse me. What quantity signing have we been making?
You've made 7.
Yeah, no, but they're all quality.
They are, but what I would say, David, is Monstars just said it. Whoever signs Thiago is signing this generation Xavi.
Yep.
So this generation Xavi is huge. Van der Beek is an excellent player that everyone's been after, and Sancho is, outside of Mbappe, is the most sought after young player in the world. I listen, you've signed top quality players. It's a good debate to be had. Who's had we don't need as many players as you because we've already got a good defense. We've got two goalkeepers that could both play first team for you. So we don't necessarily have to buy as many players as you because we've already got them in.
Terry, you yourself have said Werner, Havertz, and Ziyech are world class, no?
Yes, but that doesn't mean they're better than the ones we're bringing in.
You know what? Let's just accept we both had really good wins.
Oh yeah, no, it's true.
We don't need beef.
Whoa, Terry. I can't let you get away with that one.
What?
Werner, Havertz, and what's it called? And Ziyech, they're better than the 3 you're bringing in, man.
No. Wait, so you literally called one of our guys this generation Xavi. Xavi's one of the greatest football players of all time. So I'm good.
They play different positions, isn't it? So maybe.
Listen, do you know what? We're not going to do this debate now. We're going to wait until United actually bring these players. Because if we get to like November and we're starting games with Lingard and McTominay in the middle, and these boys are off at Liverpool and Real Madrid respectively, this conversation is going to look really dumb. But we'll have that debate when it actually comes up. But it's certainly an interesting one. Listen, everyone who's tuned in this morning, thank you. I've got family coming to see my baby in just over an hour, so I better go crack on with. Thank you very much for that. Yesterday was a madness, right? Got up in the morning, she saw the balloon. She was just screaming all day with excitement. She didn't really know what it was, but kept on saying it's your party. And like everybody was like, when we were cutting her cake up and giving it to people, she was giving me the dirty look, She'd give me like this cut off the eye look. She's just looking at me. And I was like, what's the matter? She went, it's Freya's cake. I'm like, I know, but it's to share. She went, it's Freya's birthday cake. I said, I know. She couldn't, like, you can't eat it all. This thing was like double tiered.
In the third person, I rate it.
She does. She's like, she is an arrogant, narcissistic son of a bitch like her dad.
Sorry, when is he taking over the channel?
Listen, actually not when I die. My do you know what my little dreams is, and it may never happen. One of my dreams is when they're all old enough is for all 3 of my kids to take the channel over as United fans and go to that next level. But I've got this. I'm going to put this out there as my idea now. So in another 20 years, if someone else steals this, I would like the channel to be of a size that we could have like almost full studio production shows. Them to host it, have guests on like yourselves now, but maybe the new versions because you'll all be old men as well. But the idea is me sitting in the corner for one, maybe 2 shows a week in like an armchair with my slippers and pipe, not really doing much, but every now and then they come to the Oracle, they come to the Godfather for an opinion on something, and it cuts back to them. That's kind of like my vision of how I'd like it to look. Do you get what I mean?
Okay, so KJ 2030 is still on.
Sorry?
KJ 2030 is still on, yeah?
KJ 2030.
Could be. You
That's
boys.
like Mbappe 2021. It's not going to happen, mate.
Do you know what I mean? And do you know what? I think we'll still be linked to Sancho in 30 years as well. So we'll see what happens. A comment here says, Terry, can you tell us a story about when you worked at the bank and how it relates to everything in football? Lol. P.S. Love your channel. Listen, life relates. I can't help that I've had very good life experiences across different, like from a very privileged banking background that I've managed to fluke my way into by selling a phone to a very influential member of staff at one of the biggest banks in the world. That's how I got my job. I sold a phone to someone in a phone shop, and they were like, I think you could do a good job for me. Do you think some uneducated dyslexic man who lived on a housing estate had any ambitions of working for a bank? No. But then it led to these doorways, but I took the chance, I grasped it, and I absolutely killed it. Big up Christine Williams for that opportunity there. One of the funniest ladies I've met in my life.
That's why you give people opportunities now, Terry.
Absolutely. And I can't tell some of the things Christine used to say would make me laugh, especially about what she likes in a man. It's one of the, but I can't say any things on air because it would offend a lot of people. But yeah, real talk. And aside from that, I was very lucky with the sport I did. I fluked my way into a sport. I always did karate and stuff, loved it. Most random thing ever. A mate of mine, but I always wanted to do a certain type of karate, and I could never. It was always a community center. Everyone in white gis going up and down doing basic punching and kicking, and it bored me because I wanted something more. And then a friend of mine goes, "Oh, I'm seeing this girl. She trains at this karate club. Do you want to come and meet her with me? Like she's got mates with me." I was like, "All right, cool." And then I saw this style of martial arts and these things this club was doing through the window, and I was like, "I want to do it." 2 weeks later, I joined, and that led to the martial arts career that I had. And I'm only going into this because I know you're telling that you're only messing in your comment, but some people that haven't had any experiences, haven't ever had the fortune of done what I've done, haven't gone to uni, haven't had any real life experience. They get upset by people's stories and anecdotes because they're sitting there wishing that they've done the same thing. And this isn't about me. I'm not saying anyone's jealous of me personally, but you'll find that in your individual lives as you go on to do things. You know, KJ, have you not started getting abuse recently because you're featuring on the show quite a bit?
Hell yeah, baby. And I inject it into my
and that's coming because people are like, oh, why am I getting that chance? As soon as you experience something that other people would love to have gone through or love to have, you will always get that kickback. And my advice to anybody is don't fall into that trap. Stay in your lane, focus on what you're doing, and you'll get everything you want out of life. Nothing is unachievable. We live in one of the greatest times in history to be alive as a human being in the Western world. I know there are problems. And of course there are, but trust me, it's not as hard as it was for our parents, our grandparents, and our great-grandparents. Go out there and utilize your strengths. The only thing in life you can have any control over is your attitude. And as long as your attitude is positive and pushing in the right direction, you will achieve great things, and great things relative to what you want them to be. And that's a little preachy towards the end of this, but I wanted to pick that up because I know I get a lot of stick for it. None of that bothers me. Imagine thinking that I care that you don't believe what I did for jobs. When like some of the funniest conversations I have is with my old colleagues from the private bank. When they're like, bruv, I was watching your stream and everyone's saying you're lying about your job. And I'm like, I know, it's amazing. They went, why? Why are they lying? Why are they like that? I said, mate, I don't really know the answer. They find it hilarious, and it is what it is. But there we go. Listen, boys, thank you all for coming on. We'll be back live again later on today. Come on, United. I want the Van der Beek deal, but please sign Thiago. Take him from Liverpool. That will be my ecstasy. It will just be the best. It will literally be the best news it would just imagine the meltdown. You're the greatest team in the world ever. You completed a fake European Premier League double that you tried to finesse. Your whole title winning campaign was overshadowed by Arsenal winning an FA Cup and by Man United making the top 4. All of this happened. And then you lose your number 1 and number 2 targets to Chelsea and Man United respectively in the space of a couple of months. It's peak. Honestly, it's like, like when you have a character in EastEnders who just, they break up with their wife, their kid moves away, they lose their job, their house burns down, they accidentally kill someone, and then the actor's literally sacked from the show. That's been Liverpool since March. It's just falling apart. They've won the league, but that's it. After that, it's over. If you don't sign anybody, I believe you're going to come second or third. I believe there's going to be meltdowns. We're going to be seeing the equivalent of What we're gonna do, Robbie? What we're gonna do, Robbie? We're gonna see it. We're gonna see meltdowns on Liverpool social
We're
media.
gonna see Klopp out.
Oh, we're gonna see Ram become a Chelsea fan. Klopp out, absolutely. SFG out. Stroh's going to go back to his roots and become a proper Manc and support Manchester United. It's going to happen. LFC day trippers, they're not going to make any more day trips. They're just going to sit there and I don't know what they're going to cover. Drifty's hair is going to grow back, bruv, with the stress. It's coming back again if this happens.
It all starts game week.
Second game.
Game week 2. Listen, smash the living daylights out. Actually, we're going to stay live till we hit, come and hit 1,000 likes. We need 150 more likes.
Boys.
There's 1,800 people watching. You can't all hear. Please smash that like button right now. Someone here saying Terry's being salty. Really jealous. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous. I can't be jealous.
If Terry's so salty, you come on and explain why. Come on.
Ring the show. Have you got the ball bags? Or are you going to put your bollocks back in your pocket and shush? What are you going to do?
Nah, he's gonna tuck him in between his legs, fam.
That's one of the funny expressions I ever heard. I remember seeing. Actually, I was about to say I was in Ireland. I wasn't. 2 Irish guys from Belfast in the Tesco's in Leytonstone where I lived, and having a row with a security guard, right? And the security guard said something like, "I'll knock you out if you don't shut up." This guy switched. This Irish geezer switched, got in the guy's face, said something to him, and as he's walking away, he turned around to him, pointed, and said, "Listen, I hushed you up." He says, "So put your bollocks back in your pocket and do one." And I remember bursting out with laughter. He looked at me and I went and shook his hand. And he's like, "What?" I said, "It's the funniest expression for someone being a coward I've ever heard in my life. Put your bollocks back in your pocket and walk away." It made me die. And I love it. It's the best. And you can imagine with a thick Belfast accent as well. It's just amazing. We've got one more caller we're going to add to the line. Let someone else have a quick opinion before we end. We're not on 1,000 likes yet. We've added Joe Mills Hogg. What do you want to say, bro?
Hi, Derek. I reckon United are on the verge of being a successful side.
Amen. Come on. Speak it.
Sancho, Van der Beek, maybe Thiago, a centre half. Sorry, that's a good window. Forget that.
Come on.
Man, he's speaking. Joe, where are you from, bro? Where are you from, Joe?
I'm from Welshpool
Where's that?
in Wales.
Okay, I heard an accent. I couldn't quite place where it was. I heard that. It's nice to hear. Home of course, the Man United legend Ryan Giggs. I agree with you. If we sign these players, we are on, bro. We are on. Imagine
There was one.
Go on, mate.
There was one player that you guys didn't mention, and that's VAR.
Sorry. Well, all those players, yeah, United have to challenge as well.
Oh yeah, no. If you sign those players, I'm expecting the same thing you got with Lampard. Ollie's got to get the same.
Yeah, energy will be the same, bro.
Okay,
Energy will always be the same because I got my 42-inch chest. I'm good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Straight out.
Let's do this. I don't see how Arsenal can get top 4 now. So let's do
Mate, but this is the whole point. Arsenal are doing well, but it's like it's not even so. It's like I said to Gooners the whole time. You're making good progress and you're looking good. But if Man United and Chelsea both improve, I can't see. It isn't about, and this is why they've got to remain relaxed, because if everybody improves exactly the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean. Imagine you're like, I look at it this way. I work in sort of commercial environments. If there's a guy on my team that's top of the table and he's pulling off 5 deals a month, and in my industry that I'm in, that's good business. And there's a guy who's sitting there and he's on 1 a month. He's bottom of the league. 1 a month isn't, but target's 3 a month. But he's below target at 1. If he improves to 5 a month, but he's still bottom of the league, I'm not going to ignore his progression and not congratulate him just because he's bottom still, because he's now above the threshold. And that's what I say to Arsenal fans. You've got to be in a position where if you improve and you become a really good team, just because you're not in the top 4 instantly doesn't mean you should just sack a manager. And that's where I think fans have got to become a little more level-headed with the overall view they have. They have to apply context to where they finish in a season, not just the points total, or not just, we didn't finish in front of our rivals. Because if Chelsea click, and if Man United do get these signings and they click, it's almost impossible for Arsenal to leapfrog both those teams and everybody else between them and 4th in one season, in my opinion. I think it's almost impossible.
But it is, because they've got Artetas, don't they? So it is possible.
No, listen, they can say that, but there we go. Everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.